Trace Trylko here, joined by Tiffany Sahaydak, head coach, UCF women's soccer. Coach, good to see you again. How have you and your family been during all of this COVID experience?
Well, thank you for asking. It's been quite the whirlwind, but we're hanging in there and we're doing our best to balance, our family life and the kids being at home working or, going to school from home, and then our team and our job. So we're thankful we're healthy and that we have jobs and that our kids are healthy. So there's still a lot of positives to focus on.
You must be so glad to be back in action, and even more so to see your student athletes do what they love to do.
Absolutely. This past fall was quite the challenge, and I know there was a lot of disappointment when we heard that the season was going to be postponed. I think everyone understood it was the best decision, but obviously they're all competitors and they want to play games. So, coming back from winter break has been a new vibe. They're refreshed, they're ready to go, and training's been a lot of fun. And so they're just ready to play a game. I think it's been, Colin, you may know, but I think it's 450 days or something like that since we've had a game.
What do you think about playing in the spring in general, that idea of a season at this time of the year?
There are a lot of there are a lot of benefits. I think right now we're dealing with some weather issues, so that would be one concern of mine. um, I know one of our conference games have been postponed between two other opponents based due to weather, and we're headed to Temple this weekend, and I believe it was snowing today, and it's been snowing for the past few weeks. So a little bit concerned about the weather, and we're Floridians, so I'm not sure how we're going to take the cold weather. We'll find out soon enough. But there are a lot of positives. I think right now just having one game a week is nice. Just gives us more time to prepare, more time for a scouting report to do a proper scout on the opponent. I think it's good for injury prevention and just be able to recover from games. So, I've heard about possibly, looking into having a season that goes throughout the whole entire year. And I think those are some of the benefits of that. I'm a little bit on the fence because I see the positive negatives. But, we've been handed this situation, so we're going to do the best that we can.
Checking the weather in Philadelphia, it goes from single digits to in the 50s over the weekend. So still chilly for the Floridians, but a little bit better than snowy and in the single digits at least. How do you prepare for a road opponent in scouting based on the changes that rosters have gone through as a result of COVID?
This is a challenge, and not only have rosters been very dynamic and very fluid. Well, Temple and specifically, they have a brand new coach, and I believe they played their first game under that coach yesterday, a scrimmage, so it won't be posted, so we won't be able to see it. And we literally have no information on Temple under the new coach. So I don't expect the team to look the same player wise, but also just tactics. I think the new coach will have a different philosophy than his predecessor. So what we've done is checked out how he's coached his past teams and where at a previous institution. But that there's no guarantee with that either, because his new set of players, they might call for a different style of play. So there are a lot of unknowns, but we're doing our best to project.
You mentioned that they had an exhibition game. Yours was canceled. You'd like to have had that one under your belt just to get out there and get some game action.
Oh my gosh, that was a killer for us. We've been flying high, so ready for a game. And unfortunately, due to COVID, Miami had some popped up some positives on their team, and they just didn't feel comfortable getting on a bus coming up to us, which I totally understand. And I think that's part of the challenge of this season that all sports have dealt with so far. And I believe another two teams in our conference won't be playing this weekend because of it. And I'm just keeping my fingers crossed that we stay negative this week and for from here on out, and Temple does too, so we can get this game in.
You mentioned the nature of the schedule. You're used to playing a couple of matches a week and the recovery time and how you balance that. Now, an 8 game schedule, a lot of importance with every single match. Do you feel that, the intensity of that once a week, and there's a lot on the line with each match?
There is a lot on the line, and that can bring on a lot of pressure. And we realize that we really can't afford to drop one game. But in this world that we're living in with COVID and not having any warm up games and not having a game in 450 something days, there's you have to manage your expectations. And I expect that we grow this spring. I would love to have a lot of development and learn more about our players, and I'd love to win along the way. I also understand and expect there's going to be a lot of hurdles along the way too.
You've always taken pride in the fact that you've had student athletes move on to the pros, and your roster's changed a bit in this extended off season. But again, opportunities for ladies to move on to other things. What's the impact then on your roster? You have one senior. How are your roster coming together?
Yeah, our roster has changed significantly since last fall, or not this past fall, but the last time we played in 2019. We've had some seniors graduate to move on, like you said, to play professionally. And so we have another young team, and we're going to have to work through some of that inexperience. But we have some stars too. We have Caroline Dalal in goal, and she had a phenomenal first year for us in 2019 as a redshirt freshman. And we have some veterans coming back in the midfield with Madison Mernon and Daria, and Kristen Scott up top. Ellie Moreno. Ellie's young, but she's put up some, have had a lot of stats her freshman year. So we do have some talented veterans, or not just veterans, but returners coming back, even though that we're young. So I'm just excited to see, we've been playing each other for so long. You can only do that for so long. And I really just would love for us to play another opponent and see actually where we really stand, because it's really hard to tell right now.
With the composition of your roster, have you changed your approach at all, or it's still the style that you are most comfortable moving forward with, even with this mix of players?
We hope to still play the same style, just building through the thirds and building out of the back, and hopefully you'll see a possession style. And once we get in the attacking third, I'd love to see some creativity and some goal scoring and some good decision making up top too. So it's a new back four that we're working with right now too. So I'm really excited, curious to see how they manage the games, just not having a ton of experience. But I think we'll just see. There's just a lot of unknowns right now, and I'm just happy for the players because they are dying to play a game. And I think more than I don't. I'm obviously a competitor, and our players are competitors, but I think the focus is like, let's get this game in and enjoy it. It's just been so long that I think that's where really our focus is.
Must feel good as a coach to know, and you mentioned her earlier, Caroline, in the net. You have confidence in her that you're going to be in matches when you've got her back there.
Yes. And like I said, she's very young. She doesn't have a ton of experience yet collegiately, but she is a fighter. She's a leader. She's actually been named as one of our captains for this season. It just shows, she has a lot of trust from her teammates, and she's going to grow a lot, as a leader still, with her communication and being direct. She's really like one of the nicest players. So she probably needs to get a little bit more vocal and getting on her teammates a little bit more. But we are all thankful, and we trust Carol a lot in the back there.
40th anniversary of women's soccer at UCF. What does that mean to you and your part in that?
It's a privilege. First of all, my part in is it's a privilege to, be the head coach at UCF and be part of, a program that has a very wonderful history, right? We have Michelle Akers, that played here back in the 80s and took the team to the Final Four. And I believe UCF was one of the first universities that had scholarships for women's soccer players. Therefore, we were able to get some pretty big time players. And so, just to be part of a historical program like UCF is something special for me.
And now you're one of the longest tenured coaches at UCF and a change in athletic director. You had opportunity to meet the new AD. What was your reaction in that conversation?
Yeah, it's hard to believe that, Tim and I have been, some of the longest standing coaches now, at UCF. God, it makes me sound like I'm old or something. But, we're really excited about Terry, and, you can just tell that he brings a lot of energy, and, um, he's going to be very engaged. And I love how he was speaking about the student athlete services, and how he wants to make sure that he has all the services and resources for our student athletes to succeed. And with that should come winning. So I'm excited about his vision and his energy.
And you bring your energy and the team's energy to Philadelphia for a weekend match with Temple. And again, just to sum up and wrap up, you guys just are glad to play and get out there and do what you love.
Seriously, like I said, we have not played a game in so long. We just want to get out there and, a real official match where something's on the line, and get those competitive juices flowing. And, I've told the team we're going to make mistakes, but that's okay. It's part of our growth. And as long as, we won't tolerate not working hard, and not being together as a team, and not encouraging each other. So we'll do all those things. But again, mistakes are going to come, and we will overcome those and then grow with each game. And that will be my expectation.
Coach Tiffany Sahaydak, thanks so much for joining us. Good luck to you this season and the ladies.
Thank you, Trace. It's always a pleasure speaking to you.
Thanks, Coach.